I landed in Canada, and 5 days after I had my baby. Yes, you heard me right. 5 days after landing in Canada, I had my baby boy. So if you want more of that story, just sit tight and enjoy.
Don't wanna take it slow, just wanna let you know, ready to spend some time.
One of the reasons I decided to come on here and share my experience is because I also had a similar situation. Like, I was in the situation where I was landing in Canada very soon, relocating, and I was pregnant. And somebody who was already pregnant, who had no prior experience on how to even take care of a baby, now landing in a new place, it was a lot. Not until I met somebody, and that my friend, we put heads together and then we opened a group. Like, we had a WhatsApp group. So on this WhatsApp group we opened, we decided that we would definitely find people who were in our situation that had gone through this thing before. Like, what I mean by going through this thing is, I'd recently landed in Canada and had babies. So we're like, let's just use this group as a means to an end. So we opened the group, shared in lots of immigrant groups, migrating to Canada groups, and if you know anything about migrating to Canada, it's like there are several groups to it, like unending groups. So we sent out this link and say, please, if you know somebody who has given birth in Canada or recently landed in Canada and would like to share information with us, please join the group. If you are going to Canada very soon and you would like to be in a community of women who will talk about everything and anything that could help you as you're landing in Canada, also join the group. And we're amazed at how many people join this group. Like, you cannot know how many people are in your same situation, in your shoes, until when you see people come out and speak up. So we had several people join this group. Like, it was a lot. People joined the group and we're like, I've also been thinking about this thing. I didn't know that somebody could bring up this initiative. So we're a lot that joined the group, and from people who joined the group, we discovered that some people had even just given birth a few weeks to, and they were just sharing their experience, telling us how the whole thing was and what to expect, what and not to bring, how you can go about giving birth in Canada, and a lot more stuff. Hearing people who had prior experience talk about what they faced, how your anxiety tends to calm down, because if somebody had spoken about this thing, this is how I went through it, you should know that, oh, it softens the land for you, like you're coming and this is what you should expect. So all of this just made me feel like, oh, there might be somebody who doesn't even know about this our group, somebody who had not even heard anything about, oh, how do I come to Canada and have my baby, or I'm coming to Canada soon, I'm pregnant, I'll be having my baby soon. How do I go about a lot of things? That's why I decided, oh, let me just come on here and speak to somebody who might be needing this, or somebody you know would need this and would need all the help and support. Like, this is where you need to be. If you think that you're going to be pregnant soon, you need all the help, you need all the information, I'll be sharing as much as I can. And that's why I'm going to be telling you a whole story today, how I landed in Canada and 5 days after I had my baby. Yes, you heard me right. 5 days after landing in Canada, I had my baby boy. So before this story anyways, let me introduce myself. My name is Oyindamola Alao and I'm a mom. I have a son, and yeah, I have a husband. My husband. So once in a while, maybe you will see him pop up, I don't know. But then that's me, my family. And I'm a Nigerian who relocated to Calgary in Canada. I relocated in 2022 and I had my baby 5 days after. And then so I'm telling you, how is it possible? How did I come all the way from Nigeria and had my baby 5 days after? Honestly, I didn't plan it. Yes, I was pregnant at the time of leaving, but then I still had a few weeks before my delivery. There was really a lot. So I would say first, how did it happen? Okay, so let me give you guys the story. Let me give you the gist, because that's why we are here. So before leaving Nigeria, you know how you put in your application for permanent residence. So I didn't say that earlier. So myself and my husband landed as permanent residents in Canada. We came in as PR, and I was pregnant before leaving Nigeria, yes. But then while waiting for the application, my baby definitely started growing and all. And when the approval came, we left ASAP. We didn't want to give birth in Nigeria and start waiting all over for all of those processes, because the application had already taken forever. Then we'll not give birth and add the baby and a whole lot of stuff. We're not even ready for that. So we packed our bags and we moved. Upon landing, we had not even sorted out accommodation, because I remember that we had not even gotten a place. We're still staying at a friend's place, and we landed like on a Thursday. And then when we landed, we were at our friend's place on Thursday. Friday, we had to rush. We did our registrations. Saturday, we tried to look for accommodation. Really, we just checked around, and we got a couple of places, but you know, you can't just move in immediately. It's something that the landlord has to consider you, because there were actually steps. Like, landlords here don't just say, oh yeah, start coming in. You have to have like credit history. You have to have, maybe if you don't have a credit history, like 3 to 6 month rent and all of that. And we didn't have all of that. We didn't have credit history, but we needed to pay 3 to 6 month rent. There were just a couple of stuff that you needed to do, and it was a lot. So basically, we just checked the apartment, and then we're like, okay, we still had a few weeks to go before baby's arrival, and we can sort all of those out. And then that was Saturday. Then Sunday, just there. And then on Monday morning, early Monday morning, my water broke, and then we had to rush to the emergency. We had my baby. We didn't have my baby that Monday. My baby stressed me. We had my baby the next day on Tuesday. So if you want all the gist about the baby, whatever, I would give you that story later. But right now, I'm just trying to explain to you how I did it, how I was able to have my baby just 5 days, barely 5 days after landing in Canada, and it was possible to the glory of God. Honestly, I don't know. When they say women are strong, I can tell you for certain that that statement is true. Women are strong, women are powerful, because I didn't know how I did it. I just knew that it happened. So with all of this in place, there are just some things that I would say to somebody who is probably thinking of coming to Canada, and you feel like, oh, I might be having a baby soon, I might be pregnant, and I need information on what did you do, how did you go about it, did you just walk into a clinic, what happened? That's why I have my book here, so that I don't forget anything that I did. So I wrote them down, so I can be looking down and looking up to you once in a while. So the first thing is, remember in my story I said immediately we came in on Thursday, we did all our registrations on Friday. So if you're a permanent resident, the first thing you need to do once you land in Canada is to first get your registrations done. I mean your SIN. You get your SIN done, that's the registration number. So once you get that SIN done, you go to the Service Canada office 1. You tell them you want to get your SIN done. You do your SIN. Then you need to have like an apartment or an address that you take to the registry to say, oh, I want to register for my health card. Because if you are a PR, you are actually entitled to free health care. So I was entitled to free health care, but I needed my health card. So I took my SIN, my address, like a proof of address. You can either have like a proof of address from, maybe you before you landed, you had already rented your house. So your lease, your house lease will have a proof of address by maybe going to the bank to register for a bank account. When you register for a bank account, you print out the bank statement. So on the bank statement, your address will state that you're living in so and so place. So you can take the statement to the registry with your SIN and your COPR and all of that. Remember that any registration you need to do, you need your COPR. Your COPR is your confirmation of permanent residence and your passport. So you will need your COPR, that's your confirmation of permanent residence, and your passport to get your SIN. You also need all of those documents, your COPR and passport, to get your health card and your proof of address. So your proof of address can either be the lease of your house, like you're already taking a house, rented a house, you get the lease, or you have an address and then you go to the bank, you tell the bank you want to open an account, so you print out the statement to show the registry that you have a proof of address. So once you take all of that to the registry, they'll immediately register you for your health card. So in my own case, we immediately got our health numbers, not the card itself. The card can take like 2 weeks, but you can get the health number immediately. So I had the health number and I took a picture of the health number and it was in my phone, and those were the registrations I needed to do. I didn't have the luxury of maybe going to seek for a medical doctor or having a family doctor or seeing the gynecologist. I didn't have the luxury of that because I just landed. I just did my registration. It was that Monday that I was supposed to be doing all of this running around, and my baby was like, it's time to drop. So I didn't have the luxury of all of these things. I just walked into the nearest clinic, and I said information from the group and some other people that had spoken to me earlier had already given me an idea of what to do. So these people had given birth before me, and I just told me, go to so and so hospital. They had given me the review. Someone gave birth to their child in that same clinic before me. So I just walked into the clinic, and then I told them my water broke and I think my baby is coming. So they did all their checks and they admitted me and made sure that I was fine. My baby came the next day. And one thing to note with Canada is once you are a PR, like it's very sweet. You just make sure you have your health number. So your health number helps you to get checked in. Once you get checked in, they sort you out like ASAP, check your blood pressure, check everything checkable, really everything checkable, and then admit you. And then that's where your labor progresses from. So I was admitted and everything started, and my baby came the next day. So after my baby came, I had to stay like I think 2 days extra in the hospital just to be sure that I was fine before we finally went home. So that was just the whole hospital palaver and all. Oh, lastly, before I go, one thing you should know is in Canadian hospitals, you can't go home without having your car seat. Like, they won't let you leave the hospital. You have to make sure that your baby is secure and safe in the car seat, properly placed before they ask you to leave the hospital. So that's another thing you should take into consideration while you are coming and you want to give birth in Canada. So that's just like a shorter version of everything that happened in my landing in Canada and giving birth almost immediately. So the first thing, I've listed out all the things you need to know. Like, if you're coming to Canada and you think you come to Canada, land almost immediately and have your baby, or maybe you would come to Canada, you're pregnant, or you're coming to Canada and you're pregnant and you need some information. So for my own case, I didn't get the luxury of having a doctor or seeing a gynae before I had my baby. But I have friends who actually went through the whole family doctor thing, gynecologist, run test and all of this, because they still had some few weeks before they actually had their baby. And I'll give you all of the gist and details definitely in the next coming videos. So if you think that, oh, you're coming to Canada soon, or you have a friend who is coming to Canada soon, please share this video with them to let them know that they are not alone. I got some people who shared with me their experiences that gave me the strength to push through, to say that even when my baby wanted to come at 5 days after landing, I was up for it. So if you're watching this video and you think that, oh, I'm pregnant, maybe I should stay back and have my baby because of so many things, honestly, it was tough. I wouldn't say that all was rosy, but it was bliss after, because God made it easy. So I'm just here coming out to share my experience so that you know that you're not alone. You're not going through this situation alone. Somebody has passed through it, and if somebody has passed through it, best believe that you can go through it and you'll be fine. So that's the end of today's video, and if you like this video, please do keep coming back for more, because I've just started and I will keep sharing my journey of motherhood in the 8 months that, yes, my baby is presently 8 months. In the 8 months that I've experienced being a mother, I'll share my journey, share everything I know about having a baby in Canada as an immigrant mom and all of that. So I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed shooting it. Take care and have a good day. Bye.
Don't wanna take it slow, just wanna let you know, ready to spend some time, I wanna spend some time.